about those children.
Climate change is an existential threat to us as human beings.
The threat is real and it is existential, and we need to take action now.
So they say it a lot. They demand that you repeat it. They require that you believe it. They attack you if you don't. Any evidence of doubt makes you a denier. But do they themselves believe it? That's an interesting question and rarely asked. When he was campaigning for Hillary Clinton in 2016, Bernie Sanders repeatedly demanded private jet access for himself and his entourage. Over the past 3 years, according to a report in Politico, Sanders has spent almost $350,000 on private flights. How can you justify that if you believe the world is ending because of climate change? Adam Green is co-founder of the Progressive Change Campaign Committee, and he joins us today. Adam, thanks very much for coming on.
Hey, good to be here. Thank you.
So it's really simple. If you say you believe that carbon emissions are destroying the planet and making it impossible for people to live here, and people shouldn't have kids because this threat is so imminent and so profound, how could you possibly ever, under any circumstances, fly in a private aircraft?
Yeah, Tucker, I've seen you make enough good arguments to not really think that you think that's a very strong one. I mean, Bernie Sanders is thinking about a world... Don't belittle the
argument. Why don't you explain why it's wrong?
I am.
Okay.
Just like you wouldn't blame your viewers who aspire to a better job in the future for going to work every day and call them hypocrites now, you can't blame Bernie Sanders for supporting a world 10 years from now with less carbon emissions, but taking an airplane now. Those two things are not in contrast with each other.
No.
In fact, he would be a hypocrite if he was not campaigning around the country.
No, you're misrepresenting what I said. Taking a private plane. Now, you know the numbers on carbon emissions per passenger, private versus commercial. There's almost nothing you can do short of starting a tire fire to cause a bigger carbon footprint than to fly private. So why in the world, if you believe that, why would you? No, not come on. Don't BS me. Don't make excuses for this guy. Hold him to the standards you expect the rest of us to live to. Why are you giving him a pass?
No, it's interesting to say BS, because I've seen you, tear down people for making BS arguments. I know this is not the strongest argument against the New Deal.
What's BS about that? I don't understand. No, it's a sincere argument.
Here's the argument is this. Let me tell you what Bernie said today.
You guys don't believe a word you say. You want to take over the U.S. economy so you can control it.
Over 2 years.
You don't believe it's an imminent crisis.
Tucker, between 2017 and 2018, there was one 9-day spurt where Bernie Sanders went on a 9-day tour and took a private jet, and for the rest of the 2 years, he went commercial. So this is not a real issue. You don't believe this.
But why would he ever do it at all? If this is a moral issue. Hold on, this is a moral issue. You guys have framed this not as a matter of science. Anyone who doubts is a denier because they're immoral. So why in the world would you do this? Because it's not a big deal, or it is a big deal? Which?
What would be hypocritical if he believed that Democrats were going to pass things that would save the world is for him not to campaign hard in the final 9 months or 9 weeks, 9 days for Democrats who are going to do stuff. Like, you're basically saying that...
How many houses does he have?
What he has, I don't know. How many does he have? He has one in Burlington. Okay, so what's your point?
3. Okay, so my point is that if you believe that carbon emissions are destroying the Earth, that's too many houses, that's too much consumption, that's too much carbon. You lead by example. Why is it the people who are trying to control my life and tell me what I can do and can't do and how many kids I can have don't bother to restrain themselves?
Again.
That's not silly. It's true.
It's silly. It's a fake hypocrisy argument. You're basically saying that, if you believe that Facebook has bad privacy policies, you shouldn't check Facebook every day. If you believe you want a better job, you shouldn't go to work every day.
No, I'm saying if you think adultery is wrong, don't cheat on your wife.
If you believe in having a better economy
attack other people
with tens of millions of jobs in the future in clean energy, of course he should spend the last few days of a campaign doing everything he can to fight for a Green New Deal.
You should reduce your own emissions. No, it's really simple.
You should walk to work. Should he walk from Vermont to D.C.?
Yes.
Should he walk from Vermont to D.C.? He should. You just said yes. You just said yes. He should walk from Vermont to D.C. That shows the BS argument that you just described.
Okay.
Taking a car.
What you're doing? You are making excuses because all you want is power. You're exactly the kind of person who would.
Tucker, I've seen you make better arguments than saying that he should walk from Vermont to D.C.
You're exposing the shallowness of your own argument.
Anybody who takes any plane.
This is idiotic.
Is it idiotic? You just said he should walk from Vermont to D.C. Obviously, you don't believe that.
Okay.
Obviously, you don't believe that. He's not a hypocrite for doing that. He believes in tens of millions of new jobs in the clean energy economy.
This is idiotic what you're saying because look, you will never
said he should walk from Vermont to D.C.
or your leaders.
You just said he should walk from Vermont to D.C. I asked if he should walk. You said yes. Come on, not a real argument.
You got me, Adam. You got me. You're a brilliant guy. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. We're gonna.